special event to be here so we can interview Mr. Vazquez right here, this champ. So we're gonna get right into it, man. May 4th, Sunday, May 4th.
Yep.
Cinco de Mayo weekend.
Yep.
I mean, not only is this a star-studded, packed weekend, but you're gonna be a co-feature on the Inouye card, dude. Like,
yeah, man.
Talk to us. Tell us how does that feel?
Oh man, it's it's like a dream come true, man. Not only is it a star-studded weekend on a Cinco de Mayo weekend, but it's for the WBO world title. So
right.
It's like I've been fighting since I was 7 years old, so it's like a lifelong's worth of work, all coming to this point here, and once we go get this world title, obviously things continue to move forward, but it seems like a lifelong's worth of work just coming to this point here, and what better weekend than Cinco de Mayo weekend, man, in Las Vegas, the T-Mobile Arena, on ESPN for the world to see. Come on, man, it's like, can't ask for anything better than that, honestly, man.
Yeah.
It's a blessing.
Yeah, man, it's definitely a blessing indeed, man. And I mean, when we talk about a blessing, I want you to explain to us like the emotions, and this is from a local perspective, the emotions that come to you when you could be, like you're right here in line to be mentioned in the likes of two current world champions and representing DFW.
Yeah, man.
Metcalf and Ortiz Jr.
Yeah.
And you being the third.
Yeah.
Talk about the emotions of representing Dallas Fort Worth and.
Man, it's huge. For Fort Worth in particular, I believe it's been about over 25 years since we've had a world champion in Fort Worth in particular, and Paulo Ayala being the last world champion for Fort Worth. So I feel like it's long overdue, and I've had a shot in 2023 versus Joe Cordina, and here's my second coming, and so I kind of get the emotions are a little bit different than the first time. The first time, you get all hyped up,
right,
and things didn't go my way. I performed well. Politics kind of played its little role. You can say whatever you want to say about that. There's politics involved, and so when I got the call this time, once again I was excited, but at the same time in the back of my mind, it's like, look, I can't get too excited about the moment because I got to go in there and I got to win in a good fashion. I got to be dominant, and so immediately in my head it's time to lock in, and then leave no stone unturned, and do everything I can to prepare myself for this, to go out there and perform in a spectacular way, because I can't leave it up to the judges, or it can't be that close this time, because I got to get all the politics shit away.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, because we've seen that, and I mean, you've been on the unfortunate end of some of those politics, and we've seen that in a couple of fights actually, and I mean, when it comes down to it, especially these world title fights, you got to knock all that shit out.
Yeah, man.
Leave no stone unturned, no question unanswered. You got to go in there.
Yeah, man. Actually, going into my Joe Cordina, my first world title fight, Paulo Ayala gave me the advice of, he said, when you're going into these fights, you're already 2 rounds behind, and I thought that was solid. Solid. I was like, man, that's some of the best advice anybody's ever given me going into a fight of that magnitude, and now I'm looking at it like I'm 3 rounds behind. So I could definitely got to go in there and I got to blow this guy out of the water and knock his ass out, or if not knock him out, like I said, I got to be dominant and control and win by at least 3 rounds or more, and I'm locked in to do that. That's for sure, man.
Yeah. Hey, well, we can tell you locked in to do that right now. We're meeting you right here in this Reyes Boxing Gym.
Yeah, that's badass, man. That's badass of you guys to come out to the gym and see me, in my element, and
that's right.
Not just doing, over the camera or whatever. You guys come on in and get in-person interview. That's a lost art, man, and I can appreciate that.
Hey, well, we appreciate you for welcoming us and having us here to do it, man. So, you talked about being locked in and what it takes to actually, come out victorious in this opportunity here. In a previous interview, we're going to talk a little bit about Espinoza here. So in a previous interview, you mentioned kind of a one-dimensional fighter. So give us a little bit of your thoughts on that when you're talking about, like, I got to go in there and I got to knock this guy out, and I got to leave no question unanswered.
Yeah, like, are you asking, like, what do I mean by one-dimensional?
Yeah.
I just think that you know, when you look at a guy like Espinoza, he's 6'1". You know, he's got a lot of knockouts. But a lot of his opposition, I don't even think he's fought an American fighter yet. I think the majority of his fights have been in Mexico versus Mexican-style fighters, and he's a Mexican-style fighter himself, right? Come forward, march you down, you know, left hook to the body, left uppercut, left hook. You know, he gets you hurt, he wants to get you out of there. But what a lot of people don't realize is that the dude only had 11 amateur fights. So he didn't have like an extensive amateur background. That doesn't mean that he doesn't know anything. He might have grew up around boxing. You know, maybe had family involved, fast learner or something. But when I say one-dimensional, I think that with that amount of experience as an amateur and having the majority of his professional career in Mexico, I think there's only so much you can adapt to in that amount of experience, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I said, he still hadn't seen an American fighter yet, or he saw the Cuban Robeisy Ramirez who moved around a little bit, and Robeisy did make him miss, and you know, and they had one good fight, and then you know Robeisy quit in the second fight, but you know, just with that little switch up there,
that tweak,
yeah, and that's something that's not gonna just stand there and just, you know, let you bang on him. You saw the difference. And so yeah, like I said, you know, I think that there shows that he's one-dimensional, but also, you know, I respect that he comes from a good team. You know, he has good coaches in his corner, and like I said, he's probably a fast learner because you don't become a world champion just by luck, you know. And even though he had 11 amateur fights, he's here for a reason, and you know, like I said, he's probably a smart guy. He's got a smart team behind him, so you know, we're just covering all bases. You know, we're covering all bases and not overlooking them, and we're gonna be ready for whatever he brings. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, man, you kind of segueing right into it, dude. So like we talk about that, like his size, you know, the reach, the height, all of those things, but as you mentioned, you know, the style that he has. Very come forward. He likes to get in there and bang.
Yeah.
And I mean, we all know you're no stranger to those in the pocket exchanges.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, getting in there and mixing it up. But is it something that you're keeping kind of in the back of your mind of he does have this height, this reach? What if he tries to switch it up on me? Like,
yeah,
he tries to
exactly.
fight, you know, from a different range.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, because I think he knows that. Just like you guys know that I like to fight, you know, inside the pocket. I think he might know that also. And yeah, I mean, like I said, he comes from he's got a good team behind him, and so yeah, maybe they're working on, you know, staying on the outside, working the jab, you know, using lateral movement or whatever it may be. So yeah, we're covering all bases in training camp. You know, we're trying to make sure that we're working with guys that are putting pressure, guys that are, you know, staying on the outside, moving around, and we're just trying to cover it all. That way, when the fight comes, we've seen it all, you know, a couple hundred times, and nothing's new. So yeah, man, we're definitely expecting him to bring a smart fight and maybe make mid-fight adjustments, and we'll have to do the same thing. And you know, I just hope that he comes in and he's fully prepared, and I don't want to hear any bullshit. Every time I beat these guys, man, they always got some sort of excuse on how, you know, they overlooked or bad camp or some shit, you know. So I just hope he's 100%, and I hope he's, you know, well prepared, because when I whoop his ass, there's gonna be no excuses.
Hey, we're telling me them fucking Wheaties, man.
That's right, exactly, man, for real.
So when we're talking about whooping his ass, dude, like, talk about the impact, like the impact that this would have on your career. You know, with him being, you know, arguably the #1 ranked, you know, featherweight WBO champ, you going in there and whooping his ass, dude. Like,
yeah,
talk about the impact that you think that would have on your career.
Yeah, you know, first off, I think it would solidify my spot in the 126-pound division, but also I go up and down between 126 and 130. So I think, you know, definitely not overlooking him, but a win over him would definitely give me some bigger shots also at 130. You know, maybe another world title shot at 130. So, you know, this win versus him winning the WBO world title could accumulate to, you know, a lot bigger opportunities, you know, unifications, you know, going up to 120 or 130, getting a title there, welcoming guys like Inoue up to 126. I mean, those kind of things are in the conversation, you know. So, like I said, I try to stay locked in on Espinoza, and I'm not overlooking him, and you know, we got to handle the task at hand, and then, you know, and then we'll look forward. But for now, I'm just locked in, man. Yeah,
no, I mean, and as you said, you know, kind of the campaigning in the divisions.
Yeah, man.
given the victory, would you see yourself, more or less looking to defend in 126, or kind of campaign more in the 130?
Yeah, man. I think if everything were, all the logistics were right, I think I would definitely love to defend at 126. Now that I'm later on in my career and I have more resources, I've been able to bring on professional dietitians, and so making 126 is not going to be an issue. It has been in the past, but I haven't always had the resources that I have now. So now that I'm able to, invest a little bit more money here and there, I'm able to bring on professional dietitians to help me get to this weight easy. And so, I have full confidence that once I beat this guy, I can go on and defend maybe, once or twice more, and then go up to 130 and fight there, man. Fight one of the world champions there. I would love a fight versus Ray Ford. That's something that's something that we were getting ready to announce right before this fight, and then literally like the same day that I was gonna send the contract back, this contract came in, and I was like, hey man, I called Ray. I was like, hey man, look, they're talking real good money here. I can't turn it down, and for a world title, like this is what we trade for, bro. I can't turn it down. And,
exactly.
And he was in full agreement. He was like, hey man, go get that, and we'll see each other in the future, and that'll be more lucrative in the future.
Right.
Exactly. He's exactly right. So it's like a mutual respect type of thing, but we're for sure gonna have to see each other one more time. No doubt.
I mean, and again, like as soon as you mentioned that name, the reaction, like because we know that last fight. So we got to see him again on that.
Yeah, no doubt. And he's got to fight this weekend actually. On the boots in his undercard, so he's got to get through his guy and stay locked in and continue to win. And I got to do the same. And so. Like I said, it's a mutual respect thing, but we know the business, and a rematch between him and I, that's where the money's at. So it's coming in. That's for sure.
Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely, dude. And I mean, you talked about at 126, and just think about this, man. Like with the timeline, everything how it's set up right now, like you got this grand opportunity, world title shot at WBO. You're fighting on an in-weight card. And you mentioned like, hey, I could campaign both of these. Hey, it might be something down the line, and I might be able to step in the ring anyway.
Yeah, man. So those are conversations that we've had with my promoter and my management, and in the lead up, or not in the lead up, I guess in negotiations for this fight, and what are the benefits of taking this fight over the Ray Ford fight, and those are little small things that they've mentioned, and I would love to give him a warm welcome to 126. He's been dominating those lower weight classes, but I think when you come up to 126, that little weight difference between 118 and 122, boom, jump to 126. Yeah, I think there's a difference there, and I would love to show him.
Hey, well, I mean, you're already helping welcome him to the U.S. So
Exactly, man.
Might as well welcome him with that too.
Exactly, man.
Oh man, no, it's been great, dude, man. Any like last words of inspiration that you have, that you carry with yourself, that you would like to share to the fans, to those that will be tuned in?
I just first off, I would like to just give everyone a huge thank you for all the support, especially you guys. You guys have been supported since I think we're talking about pre-COVID, so going on 5 maybe 6 years now.
Right.
So you guys have been supporting my journey way before this was even in the talk. So I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate all the fans for all the love and support. It's been a long journey, that's for sure. It's been a lot of ups and downs, but we're here now. We're here at the pinnacle, and I'm gonna bring it home. And there's plenty more to come. And for all the younger guys that are from a place like Fort Worth, Texas, or Metroplex area, I like to tell them that to continue working hard, always be the hardest worker, and don't think that you're always going to get overlooked. Although there's not a huge boxing scene here in the Fort Worth area or Metroplex area, you're starting to see more and more guys in the top 10 or top contenders or even world champions. And as long as you continue to work your ass off and show up every day, you won't get overlooked, but you have to put in the work.
Hey man, those are some very inspiring words and true words indeed, man. I know 100%. You know, as you said, we've been supporters of you for many years. We continue to be supporters of you for many years. You've got the whole city, the whole Metroplex riding behind you, dude. Like, you got a lot of support, a lot of love. And we know you're gonna bring that shit home and kick some fucking ass.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
So,
I appreciate you, brother.
Hey, shout out your sponsors. Anybody that you have that you just want to say what's
Yeah,
up
man.
to?
Yeah, you know, I want to give a big shout out to Flow Therapy, praxleadership.com, Presidio Oil and Gas, Joe T. Garcia's, and am I forgetting any? Oh, and Rodeo Dental. And those will be my biggest sponsors for this fight in particular. And we're looking at, you know, a partnership moving forward. And also another partnership. They're not necessarily a sponsor, but they're a partnership. Crazy Water. Crazy Water. You know, they're supplying me with gallons and gallons of water for, you know, to stay hydrated for this fight. And just want to give a shout out to them. And you know, like I said, all the previous sponsors that I just named. You know, these kind of training camps aren't cheap. They're not easy, and they're definitely not possible without these guys. So I appreciate you guys so much for all the love and support. You guys are a huge team and are a huge part of my team, and are the engine, you know, to Team Vazquez.
Hey man, May 4th, Las Vegas, T-Mobile Arena.
Here we go.
Co-featuring on the Inaway card. It's going down, man.
Absolutely.
Hey,
Absolutely.
it's been 124, episode 124, the Standing 8 podcast. Edward Kid Vazquez, world champ. We out. Thank y'all.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir.